Residents of flood-prone homes on Anzac Parade in Whānganui say the establishment of a fund to buy and remove the worst affected properties and raise others off the ground is a joke. The Manawatu Whānganui Regional Council says it's going to set aside $50,000 a year, but residents say that's a drop in the ocean. And they don't want to move anyhow. Our Taranaki Whānganui reporter, Robin Martin, who does such a fine job from this region, has more.
Aaron Scythe lives directly across from Kohai Park, and during the 2015 flood, the Whānganui River was lapping at his front door. He's the first to admit he knows little about raising homes, but he reckons $50,000 isn't going to go far.
Just really doesn't cut the costs, I don't think. I mean, maybe over 100-year periods it might get there, but yeah. I mean, what are they going to raise? Half a house every year or one house a year? And there's, what, 100-odd houses here or something, I think?
Mr. Scythe says he's willing to accept the risk of flooding. Wayne Coles lives at number 76 Anzac Parade, one of the worst affected homes in 2015. He's a builder, and he knows at that level of funding, nothing much is going to change. He's more upset about the lack of consultation.
The way I found out about it was when some of my friends from work told me, oh, we hear you guys are moving out of Anzac Parade, that Horizons have come up with a plan and they're going to move you out or raise the houses, and I didn't know. The personal touch would be nice. When somebody came and knocked on the door, I didn't get a leaflet or anything.
Mr. Coles says he has no problem getting insurance, and he and his wife won't be going anywhere.
I look out of my front yard, I'm looking at a park. I don't look at it across another bunch of houses. I just love it. I take my dog over the park. My grandchildren, when they come and visit, I can take them over the park. And the river's right there. I mean, in Auckland, I came from Auckland. And Auckland, you've just got people and buildings, and you have to drive to get places like this.
Vietnam veteran Pike Terui is a neighbour of the Coles. Mr. Terui bought his home just last year. He says he knew the risk.
We were totally aware it was in the flood zone. It was flooded. But we bought this property because it has been completely rebuilt. So I'm a veteran, I'm retired. I have not picked up a hammer or paintbrush in this house.
Mr. Terui is also upset with the consultation process.
No one has come to speak to myself and my wife about these issues. We are only reading about them, and we don't even understand what they're talking about.
The Regional Council's boss of river management, Raymond Strong, says any house removals will be voluntary. Mr. Strong accepts the fund won't achieve a lot in the short term, but he says the council is playing a long game.
I guess this is more signalling an intent. We're really indicating a long-term strategy direction here that says it's not sustainable to put more funding into flood protection for that particular part of Whānganui. This is the best strategy. This is the way forward.
On the streets of Whānganui, there were mixed views on the policy.
I think it should really be up to the people that live there.
I think it's a great deal.
If they want to build a house or live in an area like that, knowing it's a flood area, that's a risk they take.
Well, ultimately it's their choice, yes.
They should take the people out of Anzac Parade and put it into a nice park.
If they went to Shanghai, they have the Bund there, which is a huge stop bank, and it's brilliant. Tell them to get off to Shanghai.
Mr. Strong says in the future Anzac Parade could look quite different.
My ideal vision, and it might be 20, 30, 50 years' time, would be that those worst affected properties have been removed, that Kohai Park has expanded, so the green area is expanded, and the dwellings, the houses around the margins of that floodable area have been raised.
But that's not a vision shared by the Mayor of Whānganui, Hamish McDougall.
But that's a conversation he should be having with us, because his jurisdiction is only the floodwaters. Our jurisdiction is to live for every other day of the year that it doesn't flood, every other year that it doesn't overtop the stop banks. We have to live with that. So it's a conversation that I fully expect the District Council will be having, because it's about city planning.
Mr. McDougall says managed retreat is the nuclear option, and he's happy the Regional Council has softened its stance somewhat.
What I want to make sure is that all the options have been run down to the ground, because there are places like Memphis in Tennessee and Launceston in Tasmania that deal with a regularly flooding river by building for the river, embracing the river.
The Regional Council says it had a stall at the River Traders Market during the consultation period for its long-term plan and held 2 community meetings in the city. It also mailed a submission form to every household in the region. Of the 116 submissions that directly addressed the Anzac Parade proposal, 107 supported it and 4 favoured it in principle. 3 submitters were opposed to it and 2 didn't offer an opinion one way or the other. He Whānganui mo te hōtaka o te Akiahi, ko Robin Martinaho.